Brothers and sisters, Mrs. and Misters, loyal fans, and dented cans. This is another episode of the Dented Cast. My name is Dobie and Maxwell, joined, flanked by my cohort partner in positive crime, Max Bumgardner. And we are delighted that you're here. If you haven't subscribed right now, please do. If you're a regular follower, we appreciate you. And if you are a regular follower, you know that we go through the alphabet. We use the A word, the B word, the C word. And I'm thinking, boy, it's going to be hard to find a Q word, isn't it? And I think I did. So the Q word today we're going to be talking about is quiet time. And I think there is a big difference between being alone and being lonely. And dented cans a lot of times live a lonely existence. I am not an only child, but I lived as an only child as a kid growing up with my grandparents. And it's hard enough if you have dented parents, but skip a generation. And I had to hear about things that none of the other kids heard about, like the Great Depression and all these problems and out of control. I mean, most parents hate their kids' music. You know, I had to hear about people like Benny Goodman and stuff I'd never even heard of. So I was just felt like totally alone. You know, fashion, it's good. Fashion was nothing to grandparents. You have clothes, you're going to wear them. I don't care if it's a hoop skirt. I don't care if it's a cod piece. I don't care if it's a Viking helmet with horns on it. You're wearing it to school to be the punching bag. And when you're alone by yourself, it's really hard because sometimes there's no one to go to and it hurts. And it stings even more when there's no one to commiserate. That's one of the reasons I think we started this channel, is to help people that feel alone. Say, God damn, I'm not as screwed up as I thought I was. Do you spend time alone in your life? I know you do your bike rides and you do your exercises and your diary, your journaling. That's alone time.
I cherish my alone time. I would rather be alone if I'm not with my family than with anyone else. I really enjoy the solitude. The older I get, the more I enjoy it. I don't like interacting with people anymore. And used to be, people would say, well, that's depression. And I'm thinking, no, actually, it's solitude. There's a difference. And there's a lot of times where I just like to shut it off. And I'm one of those people that needs to recharge my batteries by just disconnecting from the outside world. And that's not about watching Netflix or drinking till I can't see or any of that kind of stuff. It's all positive. I'm still doing something. I'm working on various projects or working for my clients or reading a book or exercising, but I do not enjoy interacting with people anymore. I don't know why. So I like to be alone.
Would you or would you not say that being alone has a lot to do with being comfortable in your own skin and liking yourself?
Yeah, I have days where I don't like myself still, but there are
Well,
more
that makes
days.
two of us.
There are more days
I don't like you now.
that I do like myself. There are more days now than there ever have been. I don't know if that's age, wisdom, what I'm getting out of the stuff in the morning that I'm reading every day, part of my daily ritual, the exercise. I don't know what to attribute it to, but it's different.
I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I think it's a matter of being comfortable in your own skin, knowing that, okay, this is who I am, and there is good in there, and I can spend time with myself. Now, did your father spend any time? Did Larry spend any time alone?
My dad always had to be entertained. So within seconds of waking up was the first old gold cigarette lit. Right after that, it was walking to the bathroom or to the refrigerator for a cherry Coke or for coffee if it was in the morning time. He always had to be entertained. And so he didn't like just sitting there and being alone. And unfortunately, because of choices that he made at the end of his days, he spent a lot of time alone. And he was hooked up to oxygen because he was a lifelong smoker. And he couldn't drink anymore. He'd had some severe health setbacks. And I don't wish that kind of loneliness on my worst enemy. I really don't, because you have to sit there and replay things because you can't move anymore. So just imagine that after you've injured all of the relationships that you had the whole time or fractured them. Nobody wants to be around you anymore. Oh, and by the way, you're dying inch by inch. And no one's going to be there with you. That's another reason to treat people right. But to answer your question, he hated being alone. Absolutely hated it.
Well, that's what I wanted to get at because Russ, my father, absolutely despised it as well. And I don't think I ever saw him alone. So in his world, he had to be the king, the I don't want to say bully, but he was a bully. So he would have, and everybody called him his minions. Yes, Russ and his minions, his goons, his hangers on. And these are some of the, no offense, pretty low life people. And some of them weren't very intelligent, and he held a spell over them. But never once did I see him, walk to the store alone or anything like that. He had to be not only with people, but the one in charge. I don't know if that was insecurity. I don't know if that was fear. I don't know if that was self-loathing. He didn't like himself at all. But it was very evident from an early age that, he had to be there. And I'm thinking, boy, I like exactly what you just said. I love to be alone. I guess I had, as a kid, I can read what I want. I can eat what I want.
Right.
I can pass gas and not have to say, excuse me. That's
right.
Being alone. And I'm not saying being a wacko Unabomber living in a cardboard box and eating bugs in the wilderness. I'm talking about having a healthy self-esteem enough to know that, like you say, you're doing your positive things, your journaling, your exercise, whatever it is. I enjoy reading, getting lost in that. And sometimes I will drive in a car for hours at a time and not have the radio on. I'll just be in my head going over things. So I don't know if that's just, crazy. I always said I could do prison time. If you give me 30 years in prison and 3 hots and a cot and decent food, I would be okay. I don't want to try that out, but I think I could do it. Some people, the loneliness is just the frightening, the worst punishment you could give them.
I feel sorry for those people because ultimately that's going to happen to all of us. And so it's critical to learn to like to spend time with yourself alone, but it's also a great idea to make sure that if there are a few people that you love in this world, that you treat them accordingly. And if you need to say some things to clear the air, to make them feel comfortable to spend time with you, you need to say it. You need and not put it off. You need to say it right away. My dad, in the last year of his life, called 911 on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And I said to him, because I rushed over like I always did. I lived 2 hours away. Got a call from the hospital. I said, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I just got tired of being alone."
I'm sorry to laugh.
Called himself an ambulance, basically. Said he was having problems. And he was. I mean, he was in poor health. And, when you have your chest opened up and they do bypass surgery, and then they tell you you need to exercise and you need to eat a certain diet, they're not kidding. That's if you want to live.
No, they're not kidding around.
Yeah. And ignorant people don't do it.
Here's a question for you, partner. Your inner circle doesn't always have to be your spouse. Maybe it could be. But do you have an inner circle when you get really low or you're feeling in the dumps that you rattle their cage and they understand? Hopefully I'm in that inner circle. I get it. That's why we wanted to create this show, was in case people had nowhere to go. Who are your inner circle, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, I mean, and you have been at different points in my life. I'm telling you, I'm not dipping as low as I was for a long time. And I don't know why that is. The only thing I could say is the exercise and the journaling. People probably get tired of hearing that, but it really is working. So if I was really low, yeah, I'd give you a call. I talked to my wife. I have her. So, but that's really about it. I don't think there's many other people that I would call. There's some people in my family I wouldn't call at all because it would make it worse.
It would put gas on the fire.
Correct.
And you hear the same old cliches.
Right.
Oh, it'll get better. We'll pray for you. Oh, hey, come on, cheer up. That just doesn't work. I've got a couple people too in my inner circle that when it really gets low and it's on the ledge, that they're the only ones that get it. And I think sometimes the reason I think, you're alone, you feel that you're afraid to reach out to anybody. Oh, they don't care. Oh, they won't listen. And then it really turns around and rots on the inside and it makes it that much worse. I think you have to let it out and share it with somebody.
Yes.
And sometimes a therapist is not the answer.
There's bad therapists. There's bad police officers.
Sure.
There's bad priests. There's bad doctors. it's so that's a luck of the draw there too. And I think now we've had some different statistics on shows that we've had recently. Over 80% of America is depressed right now, stressed out and depressed, full of anxiety. So can you imagine being a therapist right now?
Business is booming, baby. You got a drive-through window. Just stick your head out. Hey, I'm messed up. Okay, here's your bill. Take the Prozac. See you later. Come back next week.
So I can't even imagine that. I really can't. And I feel for those people too, because they're just human beings at the end of the day. They stayed in school longer, but they're still human beings. And so it's got to be tough for them. It really does.
Well, I mean, 8 hours of being a crap catcher, hearing about everybody else's downtime. Then you go home. Hi, honey, what's new? Oh, boy, where's the bullet?
Right.
I'm going to swallow that lead lunch.
Yeah. I just same thing with like police officers. Think about what they go through. And then with the extra level of the hatred right now for them. So I can't even imagine someone wanting to be a police officer. And I respect all of them. I do. Again, there's bad cops too, but for the most part, we need them. And I think that being one of them right now, boy, I hope they have an inner circle because they have lethal power strapped to their belt. So,
and one wrong move and it's bad news all around, a life-changing event in a bad way. We're trying to change lives in a good way. And I just thought that being alone, you can go too far in any direction. You can be too alone or you can be too with people. How do you maintain that balance? I'm working on it every day, as are you. I feel I'm getting better too.
I don't like to have to try to be around somebody. I think that's what's changed for me. It's not that I don't care about people. And I don't ever want to put off that vibe. And maybe I do sometimes. I'm not indifferent. I do care about people. I want the best for people. What I don't enjoy is the me monsters. And there's more and more of them every day. One of your comic friends, Brian Regan, had that bit, the me monster. I don't know if you've seen that bit or do you remember that bit?
That particular one, I don't know, but I love Brian Regan. He's a great guy and a very funny comedian.
Maybe we could link it in the notes here in the show notes on this one on YouTube. I don't have any more gas left in the tank for those people where it's just me, and more me and me. And it's like, I can't do it anymore. I like to talk about ideas, not even events. I could care less what they think about politics, what they think about the virus. I mean, the virus right now. I just want to be alone because I don't want to listen to everybody's arguing, bickering back and forth, vaccinate, not vaccinate, man-made, not man-made. Bottom line is we're all going to have to deal with it. We're probably all going to get it. So hopefully you're healthy enough to make it through to the other side, So I think it's hard to be around people right now, but maybe that's my own psychosis.
No, I don't think that at all. I sense a smoldering angst, anxiety, anger, whatever you want to call it. A lot of A words in there. Assholes. That's an A word that's in there too. And the me monsters. How do you not be a me monster? There's a conscious effort, a concerted focus to whether it's religious or just a self-improvement thing. I don't want to be that person. I want to let the other person go first. I want to play nicely with everybody of all races, creeds, colors, age groups, religions, whatever. But people in general are making it very difficult right now.
I agree with you. Yeah, driving's that's a big one.
I don't want to go anywhere. I'm to the point now where it's like, oh my God, they're on the phone. They make a left turn signal, right hand turn, right in front of you, cut you off, and then give you the finger.
Right. Yeah, those are the people that need a little bit more love and understanding right now. It's hard to give it when you don't have a lot.
Or a steel-toed army boot right in the poop chute. Some people need the pat, some people need the kick. That's another thing too, man. What do you do?
Yeah. I just try to avoid them. I've had a couple of instances here recently too. I think I did a little mini episode and a guy, I was just riding my bike. I'm in the Keys in Florida. I was riding along lane highway, US 1, which I know you've been on before.
Many times.
And there's a bike lane separate from the four lanes of the highway. I'm on the bike lane. And some guy rolls down his window, slows his truck up, rolls down his window and yells, F you! just like that. And I looked around, man. I was like, who's he talking to? I'm the only guy. I mean, I'm not the only bicycle or the cyclist on the trail the whole day, but I'm the only one within miles. I can't see any other cyclists.
You didn't recognize me?
Well,
and a fake beard and dark glasses on.
That would have been great. I'll tell you what, buddy, the old me would have been, middle finger screaming, turn your truck around, all that stupid stuff. And it's like, I don't have any time for that anymore. It's making me go farther into the cave. I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
The turtle head is sucking up into the hole.
Yeah. I just don't care anymore. And I could not stop laughing after that happened. And that's different too. That's a different, how would you have done that? How would you have dealt with that if that was you?
Depends on the time in my life. There would be a time when I would pedal my bicycle like Clark Kent Superman to track him down at 70 miles an hour to hopefully beat him into a cerebral palsy. And then why? What for? Okay, if he's got to say that. And what is in his world that's making him roll down a truck window to care about some dude on a bike that you're never going to see again 5 seconds later?
Look, I know cyclists look like idiots, and I know people get upset with cyclists that are me monsters or completely self-centered and not paying attention, blowing off stop signs, not using turn signals, I get that. I get that from being a driver, because those people irritate me too. I am not kidding you. I was doing absolutely nothing. I was on a bike trail. I mean, I'm looking out of the ocean and this guy just unloads, and then I couldn't stop laughing.
Please tell me that you're not on one of those bikes with the big wheel and you're sitting, in the middle and there's a little wheel in front and you got the mirrors on your helmet. Those I think need to be run over and put in the ocean. That's not a bicycle. Those people just a bad, sad cry for help.
I ride a road bike, and that doesn't mean anything to you, but just think of a 10 speed from Kmart with the curly handlebars back in the 70s. There you go. There's the vision. Okay. And I ride a road bike. It's a bicycle. That's all it is. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You got the marble bag shorts on and the helmet. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I have picture that later.
I have the for some alone time.
Some alone. But I'm saying, seriously, I think, the evolution of all this is to get to a point where you can laugh at it, because you have stress too. That guy says F you. So in 3 seconds and 2 words, you're at fighting words, and everything Larry ever did for you is back in your head. And don't tell me that people don't get that way, because we do. They do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a matter of getting better.
I'm thinking this bearded wonder that was smoking a cigarette. I just, I was only 12 miles in, but I had a good heart rate and a nice sweat going. So I'm thinking why are we doing this? Just go drive your truck to the bar, to the garage, and talk about conspiracy theories with your fake friends and leave me alone. I don't want to deal with it. So unfortunately, I'm going back. I'm serious, man. It's weird.
There's no vaccine for idiots.
Right. I wish there was.
No, I wish. Yeah. I need a few boosters in there myself.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's our takeaway for it. Enjoy your alone time. I'm getting to dig it more and more, but then you want to be a recluse. Do you want to be Howard Hughes, who's a famous recluse? Don't want to be that either.
No. And I like to help out. I also like to do some things that I don't tell anybody about that I know are helping people. So I've done that lately, and I don't tell a soul. I just do it, whether it's a donation or whether it's something that I know will help somebody, and I make it happen and don't tell them. That kind of stuff helps, because I still like life. I still like human beings. I just don't like what people have become. By the way, you don't have Netflix, right? Do you?
I do not have Netflix.
Okay.
I have an 8-track player. That's how far behind technology I am.
Yeah, that'd be great. I've got some Casey and the Sunshine 8-tracks.
I love Casey. I love them.
I know. I
do a little dance.
Make a little
love. Get down tonight.
What I was going to tell you is right now that on Netflix, it was just released. There is a movie called Don't Look Up.
I've heard of this movie.
Okay. Well, it's getting a lot of traction. The premise of the movie, and by the way, it's A-listers all the way through it. Leo DiCaprio's in it, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, just to name a few.
Pee Wee Herman.
Don't think so, but
Charo.
what the premise of it is that there is a meteorite on direct course with planet Earth. They figured this out. They're astronomers. Leo DiCaprio's character is an astronomer. They figured it out. And so they go on the news to tell people this, and everybody's just, they're just into their phone. They're like, oh, really? No kidding. Wow, that's crazy. And they're just, no one cares. And there's some really fascinating commentary. The movie's a little cheesy, I think. There's a lot of people saying, oh, it's the best movie in a long time. But the underlying premise of the movie is all of us are checked out right now. We are completely checked out. And people are more worried about feelings and how you say stuff and, how you come across and making everything happy than they are about the truth. And basically the meteorite could be coming toward Earth, and we'd just be like, oh, wow, that's great. Hey, okay. Hey, did you see what Cardi B's doing now? It's just, everybody is just losing their mind.
Now, is this by design? The powers that be, did they get us this way on purpose? Did we devolve to this point on purpose? Why is this happening now?
Well, I don't know that. And you can do that with your Space Odyssey partners.
I have a tinfoil yarmulke underneath this ball cap, just so you know.
I bet you do.
I do.
So
who's Cardi B, by the way?
Yeah, I see. There you go. Don't worry about it, Gramps. It's all right. So
all right. Hey, get off my lawn.
Yeah.
F you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find that bike and put a Mack truck in your poop chute.
I think I've always thought, to answer your question, that the cell phone, smartphones, and dumb people it's not a good combination.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's sucking our brains out of our head. I really do. I'm not kidding. I just think I think it's over with. I'm really afraid, because most people are so distracted that they can't even have a conversation with you.
That's alone time too. You're alone with the phone.
Right.
But they're dumping whoever they are, dumping whatever they want in your head.
Yeah.
Do I have to put the dump I took on Facebook just to get 72 likes?
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody had for lunch. I'm sorry your one-eyed fat old dog died. I'm sorry about that. Why do I have to give so sorry for your loss? It's an old dog. It's going to die. I'm sorry. I know. I feel bad for you, but do I have to see that picture? Now, how many seconds did that take out of my life?
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. It's just we're crossing the thing. I agree with you. It's out of control. You think you can't undo it now. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Are cell phones going anywhere now? No. I want a happy ending here, buddy. Do you have one? Now I'm reaching.
A happy ending for me would be to learn to like yourself in the alone time, which is something you said earlier a few minutes ago.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, because it's worth it. And sometimes you just have to shut everything off completely. Shut your phone off, let it charge in the other room, and shut the ringer off, and give yourself a timeout from the world. You don't need to watch CNBC or MSLSD or whatever. You don't need to do any
EIEIO.
Yeah. So just
MOUSE.
Shut it off. But
now I hear people, I've got a friend of mine that we work on some projects together, and he's taking, what does he call it? Techno fasting or something like that. He will, from Friday at 5:00 until Monday at 9 a.m. He turns phone, all media, computer off.
That's a great idea.
Sounds such a radical idea, but you look back on it. Well, we're old enough of the age where we never had it. So yeah, we know what that's like. Yeah. But generations now, your kids, they don't know what that is.
Right. I just saw a headline on Drudge that 80% of American children are overweight and out of shape. 80% overweight and out of shape. I was the type of kid, I know you were too. We were always playing ball in the neighborhood or building a ramp for our bicycles or, playing cowboys and the others. We were
cowboys and people who are now going to inherit the earth. Who are going to sue us if we play. It's cowboys and the white devil.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't mean any disrespect. See, we got to just be so damn careful with everything, man. And I'm sick of it. I really am. I think we can be, I really think we can be respectful. I really do. And aware. Those are two good things.
We don't seem to be the ones making the rules these days. We just wake up to an entirely new ball game. I have been called so many ists in the last 6 months that I didn't even know existed. Do you know what an ableist is?
I do not.
I do not either. And apparently I put some posts up to try to be positive, and it's like, you were an ableist. What about someone with a mental condition or an Asperger's syndrome or I did with the big long list and stuff. And it's pretty easy to say that. It's like, I had no intention whatsoever of offending anybody. I was trying to put something positive together. Context I got, they said that I was an elitist for just assuming that I'll walk every day. What about the people in wheelchairs or without legs? That's the vibe that I got. And I'm not trying to exclude anybody. Even in the public, I'm afraid to say anything to anybody because I'm going to offend somebody. And as you know me, my mouth is big, large, open all the time, 24/7, like Denny's, and you get a free meal on your birthday because I'll give you something to eat. But I'm backing off too, man. You try to joke with somebody in the public. I don't know how Larry was. You said your dad was pretty gregarious, but my grandpa, who raised me, he would go in and have the waitress at the restaurant howling. Just open. He just had that gift, and I have it too, but I'm afraid to use it now.
Yeah,
because I'm afraid I'm going to hurt someone's feelings. I held the door open for a woman. This is, I don't know, then not too long ago, a few months ago. And all I was just doing was I can hold the door myself. I don't need you, you chauvinist. Oh, okay. All right. It's just human being number one, holding a door for human being number two. And I'm sure you're the same way. Maybe you're not, but I open the door. If I'm going into a place, I look behind me, or is there anybody I can hold the door for? Whatever color they are, doesn't matter. Whatever age group, if they had gang symbols, I would still, it's politeness. It is human decency. And now whoever they are seem to be programming us away from that.
Well, the happy ending is you can still hold doors open. You can still say kind things. The problem that I think people like you and everybody else trying to do good is that you let the ungrateful bitch that said that to you get to you. Don't just keep doing the right thing. Do it anyway, because it had nothing at all to do with the fact that she was female. That's her problem.
No, it honestly didn't.
No, because I just, the other day here in Florida, I was getting ready to walk into a Quick Trip to grab some coffee. And I opened the door for a guy who looked like he was in a hurry. And he walked in and he was in a hurry. He was moving quickly. I said good morning to him when I opened the door. When I got to the counter to pay for my coffee, he had paid for my coffee. Cool. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, I said, what? She goes, yeah, he paid for your coffee. That guy out there in the car that just left. I said, why? She goes, because you held the door open for him, said good morning to him. So, see? Yeah. So it's just luck of the draw. I don't think we should stop doing nice things. I think we could think about our words a little bit. And I think that we can filter some things because we were unaware quite a bit. Still people are. And you don't have to say inflammatory things anymore. I don't think that's the case. But I think both sides on any of these issues need to sit down and have a legitimate discussion instead of just rage and launching on people.
And that's what we're doing on the Dented Cast. If you like what we do, we sincerely appreciate that. Subscribe to us, give us a thumbs up, a finger up. Do we have a middle finger? No, it's only a thumbs up. They don't give us a finger. Give it the windshield wipers, whatever you want to do. He is Max Bumgardner. I am Dobie Maxwell. We are the Dented Cast, and we appreciate you.
See you, Dopester.
See you, bud.